Okay. Hello everyone. I hope all of you are very well. Here today we are going to discuss one of the important topic of Python programming. But before that, you must know that we have started Studify have started the courses for the GATE 2026 and 27 batches. The detailed information you can get on the website of Studify, and these are the some of the thumbnails from the website. If you are interested, then definitely you have to visit the website studify.com, and you can grab the opportunity for the latest courses for GATE, PSUs and other competitive exams. Now here in this particular Python lecture, we are going to talk about list data structure. We are going to discuss about list data structure. With list is built-in data structure under the Python programming. This is a built-in data structure. So let's write some of the important point first, and then we are going to take the programming example, as well as we are going to also do some of the practice problems over this topic, so that it is going to be clear entirely, right? So if we talk about the list, then list is built-in built-in dynamic sized array. Built-in dynamic sized array, right? The meaning of dynamic means you can change, you can modify the content of this data structure at runtime also. The second point is list can contain mixed type of items. Mixed type of items. It means that your list, the same list can contain integers as well as floating data points, as well as strings, as well as characters, as well as boolean and other data types also. So the same list can contain different type of data types together. The basic logical reason behind is that list normally uses references for storing the data elements, but the values are stored somewhere else. So in the contiguous location, only the references are stored. Integer are going to be stored somewhere else. The second, the third, the fourth, every indexed elements, only the reference is going to be contiguously stored here. Only the references. But the actual data type is going to be stored somewhere else in the memory. That is why we can say that list can contain mixed type of items, and due to which it is also called as hybrid data structure. Thereafter, list can contain duplicate items as well. Duplicate items as well. So for example, if you are having a list, then list can contain the same item multiple times also, and it is not going to be get confused. Let's say the number 10 is stored 10 times. So whatever number is stored, based on the indexing, it is going to be considered. So maybe the possibility that the first 10 is stored at the 0th index, second 10 stored at the first index, the third stored at, and so on. So based on the indexing, we can also deal with the duplicacy in the list data structure of Python. Thereafter, lists in Python are mutable. It means that once you can create the list, you can change the content of the list. You can modify the list. You can delete some elements from it. You can remove some elements from it. You can delete entire list also, or you can update the list also. You can append some elements at the end also at any particular position also. So these operations are possible in the Python list data structure, right? As list is a built-in data structure, so we can also call it as a Python list data structure because it is built-in. By default, it will become under the Python environment, right? Next thing is that lists are ordered. Lists are ordered. You know the what is the meaning of ordered element? Ordered means if our list is having 10 elements, so in whatever sequence I am going to create the list, in the same order we are also going to see the execution. If when we are going to create a list and at first index we are having 10, at second index we have 20, at third index we have 30, so in the output also at the first index 10 will be there, at the second index 20 will be there, and at the third index 30 will be there, and so on. That is why it is called as ordered data structure. And we can access we can access elements of list using indexing using indexing. So using the concept of indexing, we can access any element of list at any point of time, right? These are some of the points that you must know. Maybe the possibility that some kind of logical questions can be from there, right? These are well to date points. We are only writing whatever is necessary, whatever is 100% required as per the syllabus. We do not going to write anything which is not required, right? Only up to date point, to well point only we are going to write, and all these points are logical points of the programming environment. So some theories also we have to write, depend on the topic to topic, but we are going to try that whatever is the most necessary points we are not going to skip, and in the same fashion we are going to cover 100% syllabus. Because based on my previous 2-year experience with the GATE DA, because GATE DA was introduced in 2024. The GATE DA exam was introduced in 2024, and I have given this exam first time just to take the challenge. I qualified it with very good marks, and at the end what I observed that even though if we are going to read the content also, then easily we can get 50 plus marks. Even though if we are just reading the content also, not solving any kind of mock test, even though the nature of GATE exam is so much easy nowadays. Earlier it was very difficult, but nowadays if you are having proper notes also, 50 plus marks are nowhere going. 100% in that marks you can get NIT, at least NIT. If you are going to solve some more mock test, some PYQs, definitely IIT is not that much far away. So the most important thing for clearing the GATE exam, because if you are just a beginner in this field, then as per the current scenario, and the topper stock, we can say that 30% weightage we can give to the proper notes only. Proper notes. If you are having proper notes, 30% marks are nowhere going. It means that let's you are covering 100% syllabus, and from the 100% syllabus, if you are reading all the notes also, then 30% marks are nowhere going. Then 20%, if you are doing the PYQs, definitely you can get the 50% marks. And for the rest 50% marks, we can again divide the 30% and 20%. This 30% based on the mock test, and this 20% some kind of miscellaneous questions and their practice from different reputed reference books. Getting it? Again, what I have observed this year paper, GATE computer science, 98 marks, you can assume 98 marks, topper 98 to 99 marks they are getting. The paper level is very easy. 40% level was very easy. It can be directly covered from the notes itself. Previous year, I have just taught the machine learning, artificial intelligence, Python programming, and when I just analyze the 2025 paper, directly from the notes, you can cover at least 50% marks without any practice, just by reading the notes. 50%. Just by reading the notes. That much easy paper. Only if you are having knowledge, you can attempt it, right? Then 40% it was a moderate level paper, and the rest 20% was somewhat complex. For this 20% must mock test 100% require. But for this, some practice questions and the proper notes are sufficient. As you are beginner, definitely these points are definitely going to help you a lot. Now, let's continue with our content. We are discussing the Python list data structure. So let's say we are creating a list A, and this list is having some elements, let's say 10, 20, 15. This is our Python list. So if this is our Python list, and if I am going to print, let's say print A0. So what is going to be the output? We are going to see it later. Let's say the next line of code is A dot spend, and thereafter we are appending something, let's say 11, and thereafter I am writing A dot remove, and here I am writing, let's say 20, and then I am writing, let's say again print A. So at the end, if you are going to see, this particular list is going to be stored like this: 10, 20 and 15. This 10 is at the 0th index, this 20 is at the first index, and this 15 is at the second index. Here we are printing the 0th index element. So the output would be 10. Then append 11. You know that append 11. So whenever we use append method, it adds the new element at the end. So 11 is going to be added here at the third index. Thereafter remove 20. So we are removing the element by calling the number itself. So this 20 is going to be removed from here. And then we are printing A. So the final output would be 10 followed by 15 followed by 11. So let's understand the architecture. Initially it was 10, 20 and 15. Thereafter when we have just let's say it is line number 1, line number 2, line number 3, line number 4, line number 5. So this was at line number 1. So in line number 2 we are going to get the output 10. Line number 3, 10, 11. So your list is going to be look like this: 10, 20, 15 and 11 is appended here. Then line number 4, remove 20. This 20 is going to be removed, so the list will look like this: 10, 15 and 11. And then 5, print A. So the final output would be 10, 15 and 11, right? So this is how this particular list is going to work, right? This is a very simple example for list. Now let's try to do some important part here for the perspective of understanding different operations on this. So let's say if I want to create a list, create a Python list. So if I want to create a Python list, then for creating a Python list, I have to create a variable a equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how I can create a list. This is an integer list, right? This is a list of integers. This is a list of integers. Thereafter, I can also create the list like b equal to, let's say, apple, comma, let's say banana, comma, let's say cherry, right? And then c equal to, let's say 1, let's say hello, let's say 3.14, and let's say true. So these are three different lists. This is a list of a string. This is a list of a string. And this is a mixed data type list. List which contain mixed data type. Which contain mixed data type. This list contain what? Mixed data type. Right? So if we are going to print this list, let's say print A, because for printing, print is the word, thereafter only the name of list inside the parenthesis. Let's say print B, and let's say print C. So let's look what is going to be the output for the first. So we are going to see the output of list also in the square bracket, because whenever the list is going to be created and we are going to print it, list also print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to be the exactly the output on your compiler. Because to recognize it is a list, it must contain within a square bracket. The output of the second printf will be the string list. The string list can be declared within single quote, or it can also be created using double quote. In whatever fashion we are going to create, in the same fashion we are going to see the output as well. And for the third, it is a hybrid list because it contains integer, string, decimal point, that is floating point, and as well as boolean data structure, right? So it is containing multiple data types. So according to the nature of data type, the output would also look like the same. The output would also look like the same. So this is how we can create a Python list. This is the one way that directly using this square bracket we can create a Python list. This is one of the way, right? Now what is the another way? Then there is another way that we are having list constructor. We are having list constructor. So using this list constructor, we can also create a list. We can also create a Python list, right? So for using a list as a constructor, a equal to, we have to use this list as a constructor, and then we can use this parenthesis, let's say 1, 2, 3, let's say apple, and let's say 4.5, something like that, whatever, right? This is for defining this, and this is for list. So what we did here, we have just written the elements inside the parenthesis, which is not like list, it is just like tuple, but is still using the list constructor. If I am going to print this a, if I am going to print this a, then here this particular list constructor is going to convert it into list format syntax. So the output would look like following. The output would look like 1, 2, 3, and then apple, and then 4.5. This is going to be the output, right? So this is how, using the list constructor, we can also create a list, right? So important concept, but basic, very basic concepts are there, right? But still they are important. Now, if you want to create a list with repeated items, right? Let's say creating Python list with repeated elements, with repeated elements. So if you want to create a Python list with repeated elements, then we have to use multiplication operator. We have to use multiplication operator. Which operator? Using multiplication operator. Using multiplication operator. So let's say if you are creating a list, let's say a equal to 2 multiplication operator and 5, right? So what it is going to do, it is going to multiply the same element for 5 times, or you can say that the frequency of the item, the frequency of list items will be of that much time. So here you can say that if we are writing a equal to 2 into 5, so the frequency of this 2 will be 5 times. So here if you are going to print a, then the corresponding output will look like 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, like this. This would be your corresponding output. So using multiplication operator, we can create a Python list which can repeat the elements. One more thing is here that it does not necessary that it must have the single element. It can have any number of elements. So let's say we are having another list b equal to 1, comma, let's say 3.14, comma, and let's say one string we can take, let's say apple. This is one string. And if I am using multiplication operator on the Python interpreter and I am writing like 2, let's say, and after that if I am going to print it, let's say print b, then the output would look like, in the following way: 1, 3.14, apple. Thereafter again it is going to repeat itself like 1, again 3.14, and then again apple. So if you want to repeat the elements of list, then you can use this multiplication operator. Using this multiplication operator, we can repeat whatever amount of time we want to repeat as per the requirement of the task, right? Now, after that, we must have to understand that how to access Python list. How to access Python list. So if you want to access the Python list, then first we have to create a list. So let's say I'm creating a Python list whose name is A, and let's say it is having few elements inside it: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So this is a Python list whose name is A, which is holding 5 different elements, but all are integer in nature. It may be integer, it may not be integer, it may be mixed data type also, right? Now, how it is going to be stored inside the memory? So basically, let's say one memory block is going to be assigned, and the name is going to be assigned like A. Thereafter, if this is having 5 elements, then 5 block memory will be there: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first block will hold 10, the second block will hold 20, the third block will hold 30, the fourth block will hold 40, and then 50, right? Now, what are they? What are they? These are called as indexing. These are called as what? Indexing. These are called as what? Indexing. Now, using indexing, we can print any element. Let's say you want to print 50. Let's say you want to print what? 50. How to print? Right. Print. What is the name of list? Where it is stored? Name of list is A. What is the index at which it is stored? Index is 4. So, if this particular command is going to run on the Python interpreter, the output would be 50. This is how we can access any elements. So this indexing concept make list data structure more accessible, easily accessible. Directly we can access any element at any point of time directly just by knowing the indexing of that element, right? Now, let's say you want to print this 30, then print, thereafter use A, indexing of this 30 is 2. So the output of this particular statement will be 30. Now, one interesting thing is there. What is the interesting thing? Let's say we are having one more list this time. Let's say A. Let's say the same list we can take. We can take another list also. Let's say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. This is a list, right? And I already told you that if you want to just store it, so it is going to be stored in the contiguous fashion like this: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So you know that in normally whenever we learn the programming, the indexing normally starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. What these are? This is our indexing. And using the indexing, we can access any element. But one interesting thing about the Python programming is that there is negative indexing is also there. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So this is negative indexing. This is negative indexing, which is only possible in Python. It is not possible in C or Java. It is only possible in Python. So if you want to access your list from the backward direction, getting it what I'm saying? If you want to access the list from right hand side, then you can use negative indexing as well. And using negative indexing, you can access any element from the backward direction. So here, let me write few commands and we are going to see the what can be the output for them. Let's say print A0. Let's say print a minus 1. So here we are having this two printf statement. For first a0, the output would be 10. For the a minus 1, the output is negative. That is from the last, that is from the right hand side, the output would be 50. So using the concept of negative indexing, we can access the element from the right hand side also. That is, if you want to access the elements from the right hand side, you can use the concept of negative indexing. That is only possible in Python. So concept of negative indexing in Python list. Negative indexing in Python list. Okay. After this particular topic, we must have to understand the concept of how to add items into list. How to add items into list. How to add? If you want to add few items into list, then how you are going to add the items? So for adding the items, we are having multiple methods, right? So let's say first we have to initialize an empty list. Let's say a equal to this, which is an empty list. It is a empty list, right? Now if you want to add few elements into it, there are few methods. Method 1. Method 1. What is method 1? We can add the element using append method, and that is the syntax append. So if you are going to use this append method, then append method is going to add the element at the end of list. It is going to add the elements at the end of the list. So if you want to add any element directly at the end, directly you can use append method. The second method is also there, method number 2. Method number 2. So using method number 2, what is method number 2? Extend. Method number 2 is extend method. So if you are going to use the extend method, then extend method if you are going to use, it is going to add multiple elements. For addition of multiple elements, multiple elements at the end of list, at the end of list. So if you want to add a single element directly, you can use append method. But if you want to use, if you want to append multiple elements, if you want to add multiple elements at the end, you can use extend method. Thereafter we are having method 3 also. Thereafter we are having method 3 also. And the method 3 is insert method. This is the syntax. So what insert method do? Using insert method, we can add the element for adding element at any particular position, at any particular index or at any particular position. So if you want to add any particular position, we can use insert method. So these are the three methods using which method number 1, that is append method, method number 2, that is extend method, and method number 3 is insert method. And using this method, we can add the element into the list, right? Now let's try to do one programming problem on this so that the concept is going to be more clearer. So let's do one programming problem here. So let's one empty list followed by let's say append method. We are using a dot append method I am using here, and we are appending something. Let's say append 10, and after appending 10 here, we can print it. We can print it. So if I am going to print, let's say a, and after that I am using, let's say a dot. This time I am using insert method here. Let's say I want to use insert method. That is method number 2. Let's say 0, 5. And then again we are going to print the list here as well. And let's say this time we are going to use a dot let's say extend method, and we can use, let's say 15, let's say 20, let's say 25, and again we are going to print it. Let's say the print this list as well. So whatever concept we have understand here, that is the different methods for adding the items. Method number 1 is append method, method number 2 is extend method, and method number 3 is insert method. So all these three method we are going to use here. All these three method we are going to use here. Okay. So here after appending 10, the list is going to look like this. That is the output when you are going to print it, right? And if you are going to insert 0, 5, it means that the 5 is going to be inserted at the particular index 0, because you know that append method add the element at end. Insert method at particular location, which is mentioned here 0. It means that at the 0th index 5 is going to be there, and the 10 is going to be moved right side like this. So if you are going to print this a, this is going to be the output. And extend method for you know that adding the few elements at last, but multiple elements you want to add. If you want to add multiple elements together at the end, we can use extend method. So after doing this extend method, if I am going to print, the list is going to look like this: 5 followed by 10, and then we have 15, 20, 25, and this is going to be the output. So this is how all these three method can work: append method, insert method, and extend method. And using these three methods, we can add the elements into the list. So I hope any of the method, if it is going to become in your exam, easily you can do the coding part, right? So this is just a simple example. This is just a simple example that you need to know, right? I hope this particular problem is clear. And from this kind of problem, many times gate may ask the question by introducing different keywords. So students get confused that okay, append means what, insert means what, extend means what. Every term is for adding something, but they get confused with the position where to add the particular element, or how much element should be added at a particular location, right? So that is the point. Now after this, we have to understand the concept of whatever list we have created. You want to update it. What you want to update it. Then how to update. So let's learn it now. How to update, how to update, how to update elements in Python list. How to update elements in Python list. That is the question. How to update elements in Python list. So let's say a list is here: a equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then if I am writing a 1 equal to 35, then after writing this, let's say I am printing this, print a. So what is going to be the output here? So what does that mean? Initially when it is going to be created, the list is going to be look like this: 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Okay. And if I want to change A1 equal to 35, so you know that here the indexing is like this: 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And if I am going to update 35 at what location? At indexing 1. Then my list is going to look like this: 10, then 35, then 20, then 30, then 40 and then 50. Does it is like this? Does it will be like this? No. The reason is that the list size is already fixed here. We are only updating. We are not extending. We are only updating. Thus, the correct output would be 10, then 35 will be there, but on the position of 20. It is not going to extend the list. It is only going to replace the indexing element. So at the first index, it was 20. So it is going to be 35. And then the other indexing elements will remain same: 30, 40, 50. So other indexing elements, these elements remain same at same location. At same location. Their indexing is not going to be changed. So key concept, right? I hope it is clear. Now, one more question come after that okay, you are accessing element, you are adding the elements, you are modifying the elements, updating the element. Now, how to remove the elements from Python list? So the question is now how to remove element from Python list. How to remove element from Python list. How to remove element from Python list, right? So it is also one of the key concepts. Again, we are having few methods here. Method number one. And what is the method number one? Using pop method. Using pop method. So if you are going to use the pop method remove the element at specific index. It remove element at specific index, right? Or if indexing is not mentioned, then by default the last element. If indexing is not mentioned, right? So important to know, not if indexing does not there, then by default the last element. By default what? Last element. Getting it? Now, after doing this, you must be in a situation that we can have second method first and then we'll do one programming problem, right? So one more method is there. Let's say method number 2. So what is method number 2? Method number 2 is using del statement. There is a del statement. There is a del. statement, and using del statement we can also remove the element, right? Now if we are going to use the del statement, then it delete the statement from specific index at specific index, right? Let's do one problem so that you can understand the concept well, right? So let me create one list, let's say example, and the program is going to be like this: a equal to 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Okay, this is our Python list whose name is a. Now if I'm going to use, let's say, a dot remove, and if I'm directly mentioning the element, so if this particular element is a part of list, it is going to remove, it is going to be removed if it is a part of the list, right? So let's write something here, let's say print a. After that, let's say do one thing, one create one variable, let's say popped value equal to a dot pop. We are using one more method, pop, and we are mentioning the index 1 here. And after doing this, let's say print, let's say print the list again here. Okay, and then we are using, let's say, del method a, let's say 0, and after doing this, let's say print the list again. So here you can see one method is there, remove, other method is there which is pop, and one more method is here which is del. These three methods are there, right? So after this removing a, what is going to be the print? The list will look like this. First it will check 30 is a part of this list or not. So yes, 30 is a part of this list, so 30 is going to be removed, and the list would look like this: 10, 20, 40 and 50, right? 10, 20, 30, 30 is going to be removed. If we are using pop method here, so you know that pop method work on indexing if it is there, but if it is not there, then it is going to by default consider the last element. But here we are having indexing, so the first index is this, right? You know that the indexing is going to be like 0, 1, 2, 3. So first indexing element is going to be removed, and after that again if you are going to print, then your list is going to look like 10, 40 and 50. And then we are using del method. So here again del method use the indexing concept. So after that the indexing look like 0, 1, 2. At the 0th index we are having 10. So this 10 is going to be removed from here. And if you are going to print this statement, the final list would become 40, comma 50. This is the final out. This is the final out, right? So using this method, method number 1, method number 2, method number 3. Method number 1 is remove. Remove the specific element if it is present. If it is present. If it is not present, then by default it is not going to delete it, because let's say if you are writing remove 50, 60, which is not there, so the same list is going to print again, right? Here we are using pop. So indexing is there, so first indexing is going to be considered. If this indexing is not going to be there, then by default it will consider the last element. And then del method exactly follow the indexing. So that is the thing which you need to know. Now let's talk about how to iterate over list. How to iterate over Python list. So if you want to iterate over Python list, then you know that for iteration we have to use the concept of looping. we have to use the concept of looping, and here we can use the concept of for loop. Here we can use the concept of for loop, just like the other languages, I equal to 0, something initialization, then I less than equal to n, conditional check, then I plus plus, that is updation. So here also we have the same thing. So let's create one list first. So let's say our list is here a equal to, let's say, apple, then let's say 2, and let's say 3.14. This is our Python list, and I want to iterate over it. So if I want to iterate over it, I have to use the for loop, right? So I can write it like for item as a keyword. Whenever we use the for loop, item as a keyword in where it is in a, because these items are present in the a, which can be list, which can be tuple, it can be anything. And here if I am going to print a, what it is going to do, okay, here we have to write the iteration item. Items are iterating over the list. So print what? Item, not the list. So what it is going to do for item in A, it is going to start iteration from the starting position, right? So what it is going to do, it is going to start iteration from 0th indexing. So from 0th indexing onward, it is going to iterate, and one by one it is going to print the elements. So first apple, it is going to print. There is no requirement of updation like the other languages. By default here the elements going to be updated. So first the apple is going to be print, then 2, and at the end 3.14. This is the output. You have not required to write any checking condition, any list ending condition, any updation condition. Only the following thing is sufficient, that is for item in A. This is sufficient, writing this for item in A. So here we are using concept of looping, for loop. This item is a keyword which we have to use whenever we want to iterate by treating the element. So if you want to access here, so we are accessing it like item. Apple is an item here, 2 is an item here, 3.14 is an item, and A is list. It could be any Python data structure, whether it is dictionary, whether it could be your could be your tuple also, and it could be your dictionary also, list also, set also, right? So output would be one by one element. So apple is going to be there, followed by the second element, that is, let's say 2, and then 3.14, right? So precisely I can write the output here. It is going to be clearly visible, right? So like this, apple followed by the second element 2, followed by the third element 3.14. This is going to be the output, right? So this is how we can iterate over the Python list. This is how we can iterate over the Python list. Now there is one concept which you need to know, that is called as nested list. Nested list in Python. So what is the concept of nested list? What is the concept of nested list? Whenever there is a term nested, nested means one inside other. Now it could be anything. Nested loops, one loop inside other loop. Nested list, one list inside other list. Nested dictionary, one dictionary inside other dictionary. Nested loop, one loop inside other loop. Nested tuple, one tuple inside other tuple, whatever. So nested means one inside other. So here if I am going to create, let's say, one matrix, which is nothing but we can create it in a 2D format, but for that we require the list. So let's say first 1, 2, 3, one another list is there, let's say 4, 5, 6, and one more list is there, let's say 7, 8, 9. So this is a list we have created, and there is a list inside other list. This is also one list, this is also one list, this is also list. So list inside other list, list inside other list. So if there is a list inside other list, that is called as nested list, that is called as nested list, right? Now if you want to print it, because here it is a 1D list, it is also 1D list, and it is also 1D list, and when this 1D list is going to be combined, when this particular 1D list is going to be combined, the entire list is going to be called as a 2D list. So if you want to print it, so you have to write print the name of your list. Here it is a matrix followed by the indexing. Let's say if you're writing 1 and 2. So what does that mean? It means that you want to access first row. So it is 0th row, it will be first row, it will be second row. So first row means here. And which column? Second column. So you know that 0th column, first column, and second column. The output would be 6. The output of this code would be 6. The output of this code is going to be 6. The reason is that this is a 2D list. So 2D list is going to be like this. So we can understand the concept of indexing in two-dimensional list, that is called also nested list. So let's say if you are having a 1D list, okay, you are having a 1D list, and inside 1D list one more list is there. So these are your rows, you know that 0th row, first row, second row. This is your column, 0th column, first column, second column. So how you are going to do the indexing? 0 0, indexing will be 0 1, indexing will be 0 2. Here the indexing will be 1 0, indexing will be 1 1, indexing will be 1 2. Here the indexing will be 2 0, indexing will be 2 1, indexing will be 2 2, right? So this is how we create indexing. This is how we create indexing in 2D list. So all these are your rows, all these your are columns, and it is a list whose name is matrix. And you know that if you want to create a matrix, that is nothing but a concept of what? Nested list. It is a concept of what? A nested list. List inside other list. So if you want to access any element, let's say here you want to access the last element. So definitely it will be presented A22. So if you are going to print, let's say A22, then the output would be 22. The output is going to be what? 22. This is how we access the elements inside the 2D list. This is the important concept that you must know. Now let's do one practice problem. Right, let's do one practice problem, whatever we have understand today. Practice problem. So the question is going to be like this: what will, and the question is definitely gate level question, what will be the output of following Python code? What is going to be the output of following Python code? And such kind of problem you can see in the easiest level. In GATE 2024, I saw the 4 questions was there, and out of which 2 questions was from easy section, 1 question was moderate level, and 1 question was somewhat misc, or you can say that complex level question. But still, if you are reading all the notes, so in my GATE 2024, all my students got that complete entire 100% marks, easy question, right? So because you know the syntax, you know each and everything, then you only need to apply the logics, nothing else. So let's say DEF, then the code is like this: modify list, and let's say here is also LST list. After that we are having list equal to, let's say, LST plus 10, and then we are having, let's say, LST dot append, and then if I am writing 20 here, okay, and then let's say here return the list, let's say return list, then let's say my list equal to 1 2 3, and then result. So result equal to, let's say, modify list, inside the parameter is passed my list, okay, and at the end further two lines are written. One is print my list, and one more is there, print result. So that is the code, that was the code given. What we have to identify, what is going to be the output of following Python code, right? Now here whatever we have discussed in this session, the same concepts are there, the same concepts whatever we have discussed here, right? Same concept. Python modify list is a function name. It is going to be start from my list, which is 1 2 3. Then result equal to modify list, a function is going to be called. So the function calling is going to be like this, from here to here. Then we are just passing my list as a parameter. So this my list is going to be passed as a parameter. What is the my list? 1 2 3. So this 1 2 3 is going to be passed as it is as a list. Thereafter list equal to list plus 10. What it is? We understood yesterday, it is a concatenation. So after writing this, the list is going to become like this: 10, okay, it is 1, so it would be 1. After doing this append, the list is going to become like this: 1 2 3, and what we are appending? We are appending 10. Then list dot, we are just concatenating the 10. Then list dot append 20. So if we are directly using the append without indexing, means by default it will go at the last position. Just understand today in lecture itself. So this is our final list. Then return the list. So this is the final list which we are going to return. Thereafter we are just printing my list. What is my list? So you can see the my list is 1 2 3. So the output of this one is 1 2 3, and one more, print result. What is the final result? Result equal to modify list. So in modify list, first we have concatenated, then we have appended. So this is the modify list. So the output of this printf will be 1 2 3 10 20. Fine. So this is the answer. So I hope that whatever we have discussed today, based on that, this is the practice problem all you should have to learn, right? I hope the concepts are clear, and we have did one gate level problem also, which must be clear to you all. Fine. So this is all for the today's session, and for the next we are going to continue in the next session. Thank you so much guys, have a very nice day. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.